Don't forget to watch your toes as we pull away.
Hey man. This requires a bit of explaining. Dublin Tech Summit is the Irish equivalent of Web Summit. It's a big conference where you can meet businesses, make connections, and listen to influential speakers. The reason I got a ticket this year was because the one and only Casey Neistat was speaking. But on the day of filming this video, I didn't plan to meet him. You see, unlike Trinity Ball, I was going to Dublin Tech Summit to just enjoy myself and make a cool video. But sometimes what you planned doesn't always work out. Thank you. Do we get a lanyard or do we just get this? Sorry, lanyard like a thing. Oh yeah. Yeah, so we made it into the convention center. Casey's not going to be here for another 6 hours, so might as well do some stuff.
I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. I feel good. I knew that I wouldn't. So good, so good. I got you.
Excuse me, do you think Casey's in there? No. So after we had a bit of fun looking around the stands and I tried to pull some shit jokes for the vlog, we sat down and went into one of the talks. In any conference you'll find that there's speakers running throughout the day that you can just hop in and out of when you're not networking with people in or around the building. And after we listened to about 15 minutes of virtual reality, I went downstairs to get something to eat. Yeah, spent $5.50 on a pan of chocolate and sparkling water. No idea how I'm going to see Casey. You know, it's always time to hatch a plan. Isn't that right, Keane? So apparently Casey's in a hotel down the road. That's sort of the reason why we came up here, down that way. And he's going to walk. What's the other word for walk? When someone like secure. We're gonna stroll down the street and hopefully we can like catch him from the side, I guess. This is when things began to get interesting. We got a tip off that Casey was going to be walking down from his hotel to the conference center before he spoke. So the next logical step was to go outside and try and find where he was coming from. Boom guys, we're outside. We found some insider information. So basically Casey is in a hotel. I've already said this to the camera. We've been scouting around here trying to find a hotel as to where Casey is. Ended up something like this. He's not an AIG car insurance, then yeah. Okay, we got an insider's tip that apparently he's coming out of a taxi outside the front door in literally 90 seconds time. Boys, this could be the moment. Oh my god. Miles is here. Hi guys.
Hi ma'am.
So here we are trying to figure out how Casey is going to come into the building. His talk is due at 3, it is currently 2 PM. We're hopping outside. We see that there's other people outside waiting with cameras, so we think it's probably a good bet that he's going to walk in the front.
Yeah, he's on his way up.
Is he?
Yeah, he's on his way up.
From Marion Square?
From his hotel.
This half-joking thing that we thought was real seemed to be becoming more and more real as time went on. Insert this taxi man geezer. He's basically saying to us that he's going to pick him up at some stage. He comes to us every 10 minutes with some form of news update like he's Jeff Selling on Gillette Soccer Sunday.
Unbelievable, Jeff!
No, by God, he's definitely coming through here. I'm at the time to one of the lads there. Like, he's on his way now, I think.
After an hour of waiting, this happened. We got done.
Wait, can you say that again?
Casey has entered the building.
Yeah, so we were fucking numpties and Casey was already in the building and he was already speaking. Why he would so easily just hop in the front door to get to his talk, I don't know why we thought that, but we thought that. We have to think on our feet now. He was inside. 3, 2, 1, clickbait! If we hadn't had waited outside, we would have probably been in the auditorium from around 2 PM to get a seat, because at this stage, when we walked into the convention center, the place was packed to the rafters. Obviously the first port of call was to see if we could sneak in another way. We went upstairs, we went downstairs, we tried to ask people. None of this seemed to be working. We went down to the main area where we had done stuff earlier on and listened to him speak on the...
We made him 20 minutes long, put an intro at the beginning and we put credits at the end, and then we were like...
But we weren't done yet. So Casey's talk was due to be 30 minutes long. Afterwards, he was going to go to a meet and greet up in the media room, and then he was going to have to exit through somewhere in the convention centre. Learning from our previous mistakes of literally 1 hour ago, we decided we'd split up around every conceivable exit to catch him when he came out. After asking the security guards some questions, making a couple of phone calls, we split up into 4 or 5 main areas. Cal went into the car park, I was at the side entrance beside the car park, Jamie and Cian were beside the stairwell, there was a random guy from secondary school up at the front, and that was it. Now we had to play a waiting game. Right, we have boys split up all over the different exits of the convention centre, and we'll see where he comes out. I've no idea. So we waited. And waited. And waited. I had a big long chat with a guy who was taking photos that day called Dublin Daily, and then a security guard came over and your man told him to f*** off, which is funny. Jamie gave me a call and asked me what the story was. I didn't know what was going on. It didn't look like much was happening. People just kept coming out of my exit to have a cigarette. I walked over to Jamie with really low expectations.
Did they follow it? Where is it?
At this stage I was hungry. It had been an 8 or 9 hour day. My funniest attempt at getting in was when this lady left through the exit by the stairwell, and I literally just ran over and kept the door open to sneak inside. When she said, "What are you doing?" I literally had no answer. I walk away to go back to the convention centre, and I shit you not, I turn around to hear this. Okay, that was a joke, but this happened.
I turned away for a second and he's in a car.
All I see is a group of 7 or 8 lads hugging around this Merc over the bridge, and just a load of people running after this car. Running as fast as I can, I go over the bridge. There's a bunch of young kids on bikes, and as I go by, one of them says, "Who the fuck is Casey?" Luckily it's a red light, the Merc has stopped, and I see this suited figure with sunglasses come out of the car. I'm walking up behind trying to get a bit of a clip or whatever. I hear Cal say something about a thumbnail. Sean's got all this stuff. I'm in my mind thinking, not how cool Casey is, but can I get him in my video to get views? Just as he leaves, I get that little clip and yeah, say the phrase I always say.
Don't forget to watch your toes as we pull away.
Hey man. Oh my god.
Thanks so much.
We did it!
Yes! Needless to say, we were absolutely ecstatic. It's hard to put into words how my mind felt at that point, but I think this meme pretty much sums it up. After things had calmed down a bit, we went off to Boojum, and just after I got my burrito, I had this string of energy in me that I felt I had to get out, and that's the last clip that's going to end this video. For 7 or 8 hours today, we were trying to find Casey Neistat. Initially, I never believed that we could find him. I didn't even think that any of this stuff was possible, but looking back, that's the same stuff I thought with Trinity Ball. It was the same thing I thought with buying this camera. If you don't think you can go do something, if you don't actually go out there and try it, you'll never know if you'll ever get it. And sometimes it can be at the literally at the last second of the journey that you actually become successful and get that thing that you always wanted. So I hope this video was inspiring to people, even though it didn't start off in that way. Yeah, other than that, I will see you Sunday 8:30 p.m.